I'm going to just briefly turn my volume on here and see if I've got, I do, I have volume, okay. All right, just a few house cleaning things I start every live stream off with. First of all, I have monetization turned off while we're live, so you should not be inundated with any ads while we're talking. Once this video is going into recorded mode, I will turn ads on. I think my live streams make about 15 bucks, so it's not like I'm getting rich with turning these things on. I do have it set so that the live chat will show up with the video. However, I was told by my friend Ron Durant, who has done more live streams than I have, that it takes a while. Once it goes into recorded mode, the live chat is not available right away. But if you wait a few hours while the video has been processed and all of that, then it will show up, and it will show up both on, if you're watching on TV through the app, or if you're watching on a laptop, you can turn on the live chat to kind of see what everybody is saying as you're watching the video. So just keep that in mind. Jody, it is 5 o'clock in Colorado. Welcome. Just a quick word that, yeah, it does look backwards, doesn't it? And I don't know why, because it's not backwards on my phone. But is this the right way? Let me pull this up here. Can you read that? No, everything's backwards. Okay. I will have to fix that in the next live stream. My apologies. I usually have this set up where it's not doing that. I do have the kitchen in the background. For those of you that are following along on the Life in Motion Diaries channel, you'll know that we've been doing sort of a play-by-play on the kitchen remodel. It's on hold at the moment. I thought they were coming back today, but they told me that they're going to wait and come back tomorrow. Again, I don't know what I did wrong to get my video backwards. I hate it when that happens. I should have put that in my pet peeve video I did on the Life in Motion Diaries channel yesterday, because I should know better and I should test these things out, but I didn't. So just bear with me. It is backwards, and I can't fix it now that I'm live. So I'll fix it next time. Yeah, hopefully, as far as the kitchen goes, they'll be back tomorrow to do some work, probably put the handles on my cabinets. They might start this work up here over where the range is going to go, because they're going to build in something to hold the range hood so that it kind of stands out. And then Thursday, I have countertops coming in, so my counters will be placed on Thursday. And then Sunday morning, my new range and my new refrigerator will be here, and I'll be close to done. I don't think I'll be done, but I'll be close to done. James, there is a setting I have this, let me back up, because I have this set up in a setting under the camera app so that the selfie camera is, it either is being mirrored or not being mirrored. I don't know which it is. So that when I'm making videos, it comes out right on the screen. But for some odd reason, and I'll have to go back and look at my other live streams, because maybe it was backwards there too and I wasn't paying attention. But I think it's possible that I have clicked a button while I was playing around with settings in my camera app, because I'm on the selfie facing camera, and that's the problem. Ordinarily, I don't use the selfie camera much because the camera on the back side of the phone is a better camera for video. But I can't see when people post on the live stream here. And so, if I do that, so I have to keep it on the selfie camera. and then I'm trying to watch my laptop down here as well. Feeding the cats and getting my coffee on. Well, I'm getting the coffee on, but I don't have any cats. James, when I figure out what I did wrong, I'll send you a message and let you know. Somebody asked here, am I still a minimalist? Well, I've got a video coming out Thursday that will talk about that some, because I consider myself to sort of be on the minimalist scale. Probably not as big a minimalist as somebody like A to Zen on YouTube, or The Minimalist Mom, or Joshua Becker, or those kinds of things. So, but I'm on the side of the scale that leans toward minimalism. And you'll see that when the kitchen remodel is done. I have done a minimalist style kitchen remodel as well. Did you take before photos of your kitchen? I don't necessarily have photos as such, but I do have a lot of video, and I will do a side-by-side showing of that on, again, I'm doing all that on the Life in Motion Diaries channel. So if you don't follow me there and you don't know where that is, go to my homepage on YouTube. You'll find a link to my other channels, my photography channel, Life in Motion Diaries channel. My Coffee Time EDU channel may still be there, even though I haven't uploaded to that in almost 2 years. Cats are your alarm clock. Yeah, my brain is my alarm clock. So this morning I was up at 3:30. I would love to sleep till 4:30. I would love for 4:30 to be my set time to get up, but it doesn't happen that way. 4 o'clock is usually the average, but today it was 3:30. Yeah, somebody who is this, Connor, I'm trying to keep my home clean too, but in this remodel, it is impossible. I've got my dining room table covered with stuff. I've got boxes in the bedroom from my kitchen. I've still got to go outside. I've got my e-bike over here. I've got to go outside and try to figure out how I'm going to get pictures of me riding the bike. Hovsco wants pictures in addition to the video that I did. And then I've got, sitting out here in the living room, I've got my Mega One Opus battery, because I'm doing a review on new Opus Exodus 1500 that's not out yet. So I've got that in here. I've got my kitchen sink in here. I've got my pendant lights. I've got my range hood. I mean, the house is a wreck. And so, hopefully I'll be able to clean it up a little bit when the kitchen is done. Yeah, it's one thing to get up early, and I can get my shower out of the way, and about twice a week I shave. I didn't shave today, and then I'll make a cup of coffee. The goal is to be ready to go to Panera at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'll catch up on stuff on YouTube. I'll check my Printify store, because even though I've got it set up to automatically allow all the orders to go through, I still have to click the button that says submit the order. So I do that every morning. And I say all the orders that go through, that's since I posted it the 1st of January, that's probably 10, okay? Not counting the dozens that I've ordered for myself to test out products. Do minimalists watch TV? Yeah, I would say so. I do. Other than that, I don't know what everybody else does. But my TV is limited, however, because I typically am watching YouTube quite a bit, and then on TV, I limit myself for the most part to reruns of Law and Order, The Closer, Major Crimes, Criminal Minds. There's another one in there. And the We channel and the Lifetime channel and all that. They run those back to back all day long sometimes, and so it's easy just to sit back and I've watched Law and Order, probably every episode of Law and Order 5 times now. No, people do not recognize me at Panera, even when I'm wearing my New Retire Me shirt. They just like, nah, So anyway, let's see. Camouflage the TV, yeah. Well, I have a flat screen TV and it's mounted on the wall and it sits over a little a stand that's next to the wall. And other than holding some pictures on top of the stand, it's set up to like hold DVDs and CDs and books and all that. The only thing in there is the thing for my cable. That's it. It's other than that, it's empty. Let's see. Welcome from Yorktown. Welcome. I'm glad you finally made it live. Just watched The Simpsons. The Simpsons is hysterical, and I watch a few things on YouTube about The Simpsons, but I don't know that I've ever watched a full episode of The Simpsons. Do you think you could cut back on coffee and sleep better? No. One of the reasons that I wake up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning is because I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I mean, it's not like I'm up late. But right now my body is set such that even if I go to bed at 10 or 11, I'm still awake by 4:30. If I did 10 or 11 regularly for a while, then my morning would probably start later. But I'm a morning person, and I get much more done before lunch than after lunch. And so, if I get up earlier, I've got a much better running start of the day. That's just how I'm wired. Let's see, 2015, that's a long time. Yeah. When the bills have to go, TV's a good way to do it. The cable alone is, $250 and it's useless. But my mom enjoys it. My mom watches a lot of TV, so she gets all the use out of that. Do minimalists clean everything out of their house? No, not everything. And like I said, there's sort of a continuum of minimalism. There are extreme minimalists that I'll talk about in Thursday's video. It's a very small part of the population, very, very small part of the population. I watch some YouTube videos of people that don't have any furniture, they sit on the floor, and I'm like, if I sat on the floor, I'd never get up. So that's not me. But I have gone through and gotten rid of a lot of stuff in my bedroom. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff in my kitchen. My living room is now sort of pared down to a more minimalist footprint. But it is a spectrum, sort of a continuum. The stages of minimalism. Yeah, you say that's a good idea. I've actually started that. So I'll address sort of the elephant in the room here up front, and that is the video that I took down the other day. And it wasn't because I had used AI to help me write it, and it wasn't even because it lifted a lot of information from Joshua Becker. The issue was it lifted a lot of information from Joshua Becker I was not aware of, and I could not attribute it to Joshua Becker. If I wanted to do a video on one of his books and talk, incessantly about chapter after chapter after chapter, I have no problem with that as long as I'm attributing it where it goes. This video had no attribution because I just wasn't aware that's what had happened. So as a result, I had 2 or 3 videos already uploaded for future weeks. I was trying to get stuff done ahead. I took all those videos down, deleted everything that I had out in the future, and I just started over. So Thursday's video is sort of a brand new start for me in the way that I'm doing videos, and I will do a video about AI and a responsible use for AI in the near future. So yeah, essentialism. I talked about essentialism a couple of times early on. And essentialism and minimalism are so closely related, and minimalism is the word that everybody sort of knows. And so I haven't really used that word a lot, even though it is how I describe myself. I am leaning toward a word, and it's not a new word to me, but the word intentionalism. That we need to live an intentional life. And that's really what Thursday's video will be about, is this spectrum from minimalism to maximalism and where intentionalism falls in that spectrum. Let's see. Oh, a 1952 sewing machine. That would be so cool. Yeah, so, it was a wake-up call for me, and I could have just deleted the video and acted like it never happened, but I felt like I needed to at least come clean and be honest and just say, hey, I got lazy, I leaned too heavily. Those days are gone. I'll back up. I'll punt. I'll do better. The apology video may get deleted eventually because somebody watching that a year from now won't have any clue what that means to my channel. But for now, it has 11 or 12,000 views. I didn't monetize it because I just didn't think that was the right thing to do under those circumstances. Yeah, Emily, I totally agree with that. That's kind of where I'm at. Again, I do have certain parts of my house and certain parts of my life where minimalism, even heavy minimalism, has sort of guided my way, but it's not everything. It's not my entire life. And so we'll talk about that. Well, Lorraine, here's the thing, and this is what I'll talk about when I do my video on AI. I could probably ask Grok to give me websites and citations and all that. Perplexity AI does that already. And so I've sort of abandoned Grok at this point, and I've gone back to Perplexity AI, which is what I was using for the longest time, because it will give you, like if I ask it, for instance, one of the things that I'm working on is this trip to Edinburgh, and somebody wanted to know how I'm using AI to plan for travel. Well, I asked Perplexity AI to give me, because I want my next trip to Scotland to be about the food, and taking travel photography photos with my new Leica Q2M. It's new to me anyway. So I asked Perplexity to give me examples of 5 foods that are specifically Scottish in origin, and to give me a description of that food, and to give me recommended restaurants or cafes where I could buy that food that's within a 20-minute walk of this particular hotel where I will be staying. And so it did. It gave me a list of 5 foods. I did ask for another 5 foods as well, so I have a total of 10 in all. And it gives me footnotes. It gives me a little link. It's just a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. That will, if it's describing the food, it will give me a footnote that I can click on and go to a website and read about the description of that food. Or it will give me a link to a YouTube video that talks about that food. Or it will give me a link to someplace about the restaurant that it recommended, and it will give me a Google map with all of those restaurants laid out, showing me how far they are from my hotel. That's a powerful tool for travel planning. And, so there's a lot of really cool uses for that. So yeah, the stuff on the travel. I think I only posted 1 or 2 videos here on this channel. Most of my videos about that trip to Rome and Florence was posted on the Life in Motion Diaries channel, and there's a playlist with all of those videos there. The hotel that I chose in Florence was fantastic. What I didn't realize was, well, actually the hotel that you all helped me choose, I should say. What I didn't realize at the time is that it's considered a boutique hotel and it only has like 10 rooms. It might not even have 10 rooms. But when I walked out, there's a little tiny elevator. It takes like, I don't know, 30 minutes to go down 4 floors because it's on the 4th floor of this building, the hotel is. So there's this little tiny elevator. You feel claustrophobic in it, and you go down to the ground level. You walk outside, and right there's the Duomo. I mean, it's just there. And so it was fantastic. The entire trip was just fantastic. Jody, you're going on a cruise. A friend of mine who now does reservations for Carnival, whatever you want to call it, cruise lines. He knows that I am interested in a cruise at some point, and he sent me a link to a cruise next year, August of 2026, that would start in London and go around the British Isles. It makes a stop in Ireland, it makes a stop in Dunoon, Scotland, and then it comes back around to London. And that's an interesting possibility for me. I might have to look into that. Noreen, I'm assuming you mean I need to make a video on AI, and I am. I'm probably going to make a couple of videos on AI. One of how I'm using it to help plan my YouTube videos now in a more controlled way, and one for things like travel and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, those will be coming, and they will be on this channel. I won't relegate them over to the Life in Motion Diaries channel. Yeah, I did feel like a dumb waiter. Connor, you're asking a lot of questions about minimalism, and I don't have distinct answers because there is no set number of things that minimalists own. It's a lifestyle that gets rid of things that no longer serve a purpose or no longer add any kind of joy or element to your life similar to joy. And that's different for different people. And here's the thing. So I mentioned, Noreen, I'm coming back to you again. Here, I mentioned in the apology video that I put up over the weekend that when I go into YouTube's AI program and I do a search for certain topics, and it tells me if there's moderate interest or high interest or low interest or very low interest, using AI for travel, very, very low interest. I mean, hugely low interest. And those kinds of videos on this channel get maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 views, and that's a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot. But my average number of views are somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000. And so when a video goes to 10,000, that's way up there for me. So you know, it's a give and take, and I know that those videos are interesting to me, but I also have a lot of people who comment on them and say, I have no interest whatsoever in AI, I'm not watching this video. Okay, that's why we have freedom in the United States, I suppose. So anyway, it will be one of those videos that doesn't get a lot of views, but I think that for the people who do view it, it could be some really important information, and that's really what it's all about. Yeah, that, Lorraine, that's good. Set number is probably whenever you stop feeling claustrophobic. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so, you know, I mean, Noreen, again, coming back to you, if my channel was all about AI, I would probably get a lot of views, and it would generate much higher interest, because those are the people that would be naturally attracted to my channel. So YouTube is not just telling me this topic is of no interest on YouTube. It's telling me this topic is of little interest to the people who generally watch your channel. That's really where the AI is going. So it's a give and take, and it won't stop me from making the video. Let's see. Yeah, I'll sleep till 4:30 with daylight savings time coming. Maybe, maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to being up at 4 o'clock in the morning when it's starting to get light earlier, because again, I'm a morning person, and going walking in the afternoon for exercise, I'm over my day by then. I have no interest in that. So, but if I get out and go walking at 5 and get my walking over with in time to go to Panera at 6 for coffee, I can do that every day. But right now it's so cold and so dark. I mean, this morning it was 37 degrees and it's still pitch black outside. It dissuades me from going. So anyway, Retirement Groove. Welcome, Ron. Are you still in Florida? I think you're still in Florida. I hope that trip is going well for you. Let's see. What else are we going to talk about? So I am going, in fact, Ron's here now. Ron and I are going to do a night or two of camping soon, car camping. He has his pickup truck set up to car camp. He also has a little trailer that he pulls sometimes if he's going to stay for a long time. Perry, Georgia. I know Perry, Georgia well. I drove back from Florida. I was living in Cleveland. I was married at the time with 2 kids, small kids. And we had gone to Florida. My wife's family lived in Sanford. And so we were driving back from Sanford the day after Thanksgiving. Not a good time to drive. And between the heavy traffic and the construction that was on I-75, it took us, it's normally a 10-hour drive to get home. It took us 13 hours to get to Perry, Georgia. And that's where we spent the night. So I know Perry, Georgia. Anyway, I don't know what I was talking about. It was something really important, I'm sure. But camping, car camping. So Ron and I will be going car camping soon, and so there'll be some video about that. We don't know where we're going yet, but we do want to do some waterfall photography or nature photography of some kind, and so that will be involved as well. And then I do have this trip to Scotland that, and as I've said before, it wouldn't surprise you to know that I've already got my backpack out that I'm taking, and I've already packed a few things, and it's not till October. My last trip, I purposefully packed as small as I possibly could in the tiniest possible bag I could, one that would fit under the seat of the plane if I needed it to. I'm not doing that this time. I am packing small, and it will be in a backpack, but it'll be a slightly larger backpack, and we'll talk about that later as well. Savannah. Savannah has been on my list. I was looking into, and I may still do this, I was looking into 2 or 3 nights of car camping at a state park near Savannah, followed by 2 or 3 nights in a hotel in Savannah. I haven't ruled that out yet, but I may decide instead just to fly to Savannah if I can find a cheap flight, rent a car, spend 2 or 3 days and come home and make it a shorter trip. I absolutely love Savannah, Georgia. I mean, I just love it. And I love the food. I love the parks. I love the churches. I love to take pictures there. I love the water. There's nothing I don't like about Savannah. So it is sort of still on my list. Yeah, and there are some good coffee places in Savannah. I don't remember the name of the large park there, um, but there is this really large park just outside of historic Savannah, right on the edge of historic Savannah. And there was a coffee shop right there on that park that I went to that was just amazing. And I hope it's still there. And that's, the trip to Scotland will also be about coffee shops, food and coffee shops. That's the highlight of my trip. So I am staying at a hotel. I'm staying in a Hilton because I have points to cover the hotel cost for the Hilton, and it is like right on the Royal Mile. So I'm right in the middle of where I want to be. But I'm also right in the middle of the biggest tourist trap part of Edinburgh, so there's that. um, excuse me. But I'm willing to walk 15 or 20 minutes to get food or to get coffee or whatever. That's about a mile. 20 minutes is about a mile. So um, I have some websites or some YouTube channels now that I'm watching of people that live in Edinburgh who do videos about Edinburgh, because I'm not interested in YouTube videos of the best places to eat that was made 6 years ago. Those places may not even be there anymore. I want restaurant recommendations that have been made in the last year, hopefully within the last 3 or 4 months, to sort of help me plan out where I'd like to go. So that's kind of there as well. And then I ran an idea by my daughters, and they immediately said yes. I don't know if it will happen or not. Yeah, take your granddaughter to school. That's important. This will be here when you get back. It'll be recorded. The old retired me. Maybe when I hit 80. I don't know. But anyway, I ran this idea by my daughters of making a daddy-daughter trip next year in 2026. Just the four of us, no husbands, no grandkids, just the four of us. And to make a trip to Assisi and Florence and Rome, where I can take the time to show them the places in those cities that have hit me so hard spiritually. I think if I could do something like that every year for the rest of my life, to take my kids or to take my sons-in-law or to take my grandkids or to take all of them. I don't know about all of them anymore. That was a lot. That trip to Scotland was a lot. But to share with them, to help them see places in the world that they would not otherwise maybe get to. If I could spend the rest of my days doing that, that would just be tremendous. I may change my channel to The Coffee Retired Me, or maybe The Retired Coffee Me. I don't know. So that's sort of in the thinking stages for 2026. Here, I mentioned when we were doing the premiere of the apology video. In fact, I'm probably going to change Thursday's video to a premiere too. I won't do that every time, but I did enjoy sort of being online, answering questions in the chat while people were watching the video. So I may do that this week as well. But I mentioned in that video that I had taken the video offline that had caused some issues for me, but it had already made about $1,000. In fact, it had made $1,063. And so in the chat, it may not show up when you go watch the video, so I just want to put that out here for others who might have missed that video. I don't want to keep that money. That video was so problematic for me that I don't want to be monetized for it. So I am moving that money over to the grant that we do. We'll put a new application out on the 3rd of June. We'll close that application on the 3rd of July. And then we will make a decision about grant recipients during July. And by moving that money over there, so now I have, between the affiliate marketing that we've done and that, I've got enough to do 3 grants. And those grants are up to $500 in equipment for YouTube channels who have less than 1,000 subscribers and have at least 1 video posted. And the effort is to try to get them equipment that can help their channel be more polished looking or help them to achieve monetization in some way. And so I'm excited about using that money over there. And so I just want to kind of put that out here while I'm thinking about. Peggy, what is car camping? I have my Tiguan. I have a Volkswagen Tiguan, 2019 Tiguan, set up so that I can lay the back seats down, and I have a place to put a sleeping bag in there, and I will sleep inside the car. So I don't have to have a tent. I don't have to have a camper. I can rent a campsite at a state park, or I could, like one video that I did, I spent the night in a Cracker Barrel parking lot, which was an experience. But I have, an awning for the car so that I can sit out under that if I want to. I've got a battery-operated refrigerator, and I've got something to cook with and all that, all packed inside the car. And then at night, I just crawl into the car and sleep. And so there are a lot of people who live that way. They live in their car. That's not me. As much as I love minimalism, I'm not living in my car. So anyway, so that's, Western Australia. Wow. We're a lot of hours away from Western Australia. Connor, yes, I have used Gemini. I'm not a big fan. Perplexity for me, for what I'm doing, Perplexity is, now I will say that I use the paid version of Perplexity. So I pay $20 a month for Perplexity, which ties it to ChatGPT and other kinds of search engines as well. So it gives it a lot more power. Noreen, the thing to do is to contact that person and tell them to be watching, because in May we'll put out a video about that grant, and then June 3rd we'll put a link out for them to fill out an application online, and there will be a number of questions to answer about their channel. And I have a group of, right now it's 3 other YouTube creators who read those and score them on a scale. Every question is scored on a scale, and I take the average of their scores to determine who is going to get the grant. I'm out of the equation. So that's the way to do it, is to get them to follow this channel, especially in May, when we'll talk about that. Yeah, Georgia's Garden. Yeah, you need to get over the... Here's something that you could do. And I've talked about this in a couple of previous videos on my Life in Motion Diaries channel. Come up with something you want to do and create a video. Upload it to YouTube and keep it unlisted. And send me the link. And let me look at it. And let me give you some feedback. And I will be kind. But I would recommend making those videos. Don't publish them, but make them. You critique them. For instance, one of the things that I talked about in yesterday's video on the Life in Motion Diaries channel are the content creators using their phone. Now, this backwards thing, that's a problem for me. If that was what I was doing on all my videos, I wouldn't watch my videos. But content creators who use their phones, there's a little green dot right over here over the camera that I'm looking at. If I look at myself, I'm no longer looking at you. And to make an entire video like this watching me means I'm not paying attention to you. So there are just some little things like that. Check out the audio. And if you want me to take a look at a video and give you some private feedback, I'm happy to do that. Connor, I don't have Android. I'm Apple all the way. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah, car camping 50 years ago. I wish I'd have done that. I was never a camper. I just never was. Last year was probably the first time I've ever, other than maybe going to church camp and staying in a cabin, it's the first time I've ever been out at a campground like that. And it was a lot of fun. Jesse, Ron's retirement channel is still there. It's called the Retirement Groove. Ron had some trouble recently. Somebody had hacked his account, and he lost some stuff, and he had to kind of start over. He's regained control of his account, but it's there. Just look for Retirement Groove. In fact, he has posted a comment here in the chat. You might be able to find him that way. And Ron, if you're still here, you could put a link to your channel in there. That'd be great. Yeah, Noreen, some people really like the way they look, and so they just stare at themselves. I'm not that guy. I still make mistakes sometimes, and sometimes I'll look over here and I'll look at myself and look back again. That doesn't bother me. But, you just have to kind of, if you'd watch your own videos, you might annoy yourself as well. Let's see. You're welcome, George's Garden. If you want to email me, it's just my YouTube name, The New Retired Me, @gmail.com. You'll find that on my YouTube channel. So, you can, it's not like I'm giving out private information here. And I'll be happy to help you out if I can. Where are we at? What time is it? 7:40. Okay. My coffee's getting cold. I'm kind of worried about that. Connor, I'm beginning to wonder if you're a real person or a bot, because you're asking me the same questions over and over. So I've already answered that question. Let's see. Trying to think what else I've got going on that we need to talk about today. I do have, and I'll mention this here, I don't really talk about it much on the videos on my channel, but there is the store with merchandise there. Somebody reached out to me and said, I went to your store thinking I could find a New Retired Me t-shirt, and there wasn't one. And I was like, there's not one. And she was right, there wasn't one. I'd created a t-shirt for everything but the channel. So this shirt is now available online, and it has the logo on the back as well. And there's a link in the description of all my videos, and that's really the only commercial I'm going to make about that. I'm wearing my hair differently. Well, I got a haircut, and it's so short now that I don't comb it, so you're looking at bedhead. So it's not really different, it's just unkempt. But thanks for noticing. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, Retirement Groove. So if you want to check out Ron's channel, Ron is up in Cookeville. Am I right about that? I always get Cookeville and Clarksville. Anyway, he's up north of me, sort of west of Knoxville. And so anyway, we're going to get together and try to do some car camping here pretty soon. Ron goes out more than I do, and I'm a little jealous of that. So I do have, some of you have asked in other comments and other videos about my mom. My mom is doing really well. Of course, she lives in the house above me. If you're new here, I live in the basement apartment. And she's doing really well, and I have given her a set of questions that I want to do another interview with her based around how she and my mom met and all of that. And we've scheduled a couple of times to make that video, and then I've had to back out for various reasons. So I'm hoping to get that video recorded soon, because that's a huge part of why I started this channel, is to share stories with my kids. And I want to share her stories as much as possible. So let's see. Gary, that would be funny if I could. Maybe I could run into the bathroom real quick and video myself in front of the mirror. So yeah, and Ron has made on his channel now, he's made a couple of really good cooking videos. I love his kitchen. And he bought my apron. So when my kitchen is done and I make a new cooking video in here, I'll be wearing the apron that's on my store. Emily, enjoy work. Crossville, yeah. Thanks, Ron. Let's see, what else? You know, I don't want to talk just for the sake of talking. I see that I've got 73 people online here. I've got 33 likes. I appreciate that. If you want to help this video sort of boost itself when it goes into recorded, and you're liking what you're seeing, just click the like button. You don't have to write anything in the comments section. And we'll see. You know, my live streams. This is another one of the things that I've made a decision on. I don't know, I guess at the first of the year, is to do the first Tuesday of every month. We'll do a live stream at 7 a.m. My hope is, as it warms up a little bit, gets a little lighter, I can go somewhere besides my house. I'd love to go sit by the lake and do a live stream. And Connor, thanks. Well, I've answered that question. I don't use Android, so I've never used Gemini on Android. Sorry. There might be other people in the chat who have, and if they want to respond to your question, that's perfectly fine. But you know, I have an iPhone, I have a MacBook, I have an iMac, I have everything is Mac. Sorry. So anyway, we'll do. You know, I've thought about that. What would my first cooking thing be in the kitchen? And I don't know. You know, I go through spells where I try to stay on the carnivore diet as much as possible. I'm obviously not on the carnivore diet now while I am cooking everything. You just turn my camera just a little bit. You see right back here in the hallway, there is a microwave sitting on top of a piece of furniture there. I'm doing all of my cooking on the microwave. So, you know, I'm just kind of buying frozen food stuff and eating hot dogs and all kinds of things. So when the kitchen is done, I do plan to do a cooking video pretty soon after that, to sort of introduce the new kitchen in a good way. And it's been designed both for minimalism and for making videos. I've sort of designed it to be a studio of sorts to do cooking videos. And, you know, I haven't made lasagna in a long time, and I haven't, you know, just all kinds of stuff that I would normally make for myself that I don't typically make anymore because I'm trying to do carnivore. I've already done ribeye steak. I've already done a chuck eye roast. I've already done, I might do something with eggs. I've thought about doing a video of, you know, 10 different ways to cook eggs. I don't know. If you got ideas, feel free to share them. Yeah, the coffee. Here's one of the things that, again, I'm going to turn this around a little bit. So over here on this wall is where I'm moving my new refrigerator. This is the old refrigerator. It will be gone. But I have this pantry right here. And in this bottom level pantry, it's my set this down where I don't knock it over. It's my intention in that pantry to put my coffee materials in there on a sliding drawer that comes out. I'm going to run some electricity inside so that I have it sort of closed away and it's not cluttering up my countertop. So let me pull this back over here just a little bit. So anyway, that's I will demonstrate that once the kitchen is done. We'll talk about that. Right now, one of the things I've used Perplexity AI for this morning, I typically clean my Chemex pot because it gets really a lot of coffee stains in it over time. And I typically put ice in it and some coarse kosher salt and then just swirl it for about 3 minutes. And it gets rid of a lot of that stain, but not all of it. So I went on Perplexity AI this morning and I said, give me 5 alternate ways to clean my Chemex, along with links to where I can see how this is done. And so I've got 2 or 3 things I'm going to try for that as well, because I really would like it to look, fairly new most of the time. So either that or I'm going to throw it away and buy a new one. So let's see. Jody, if you want to email me a recipe for lasagna, I'm more than happy to cook it and give you credit for it. I'm more than happy to do that. Lasagna is just one of those things I just love. Pizza, I love pizza, but I don't like making pizza at home. It's never turned out right. Pizza eggs, I do that. Yeah, that's really good. White vinegar is one of the things that it recommended, and that's where I'm going next, white vinegar. And then another one it recommended was using some vodka and water. I don't have vodka. I don't know if my whiskey will work. But I am going to try 2 or 3 different things to see if I will be able to get something done here. Lori, I mentioned to somebody the other day, one of my daughters has a real problem with gluten. And if we go to Rome and all that, there's a lot of pasta to eat. But they don't seem to have a problem with gluten in Italy, because their pasta is made totally differently than ours. And so, gluten-free pasta would be really good. I don't have a problem with anything. I can eat anything. And it shows. George's Garden. Yeah, that's number one. That's a lot of eggs, but I understand what you're doing. I love to make breakfast burritos, and I use 0 carb shells that I pick up at. They're available anywhere. And so, they're really, really good. I have, for the purposes of not having a kitchen, I have bought some pre-made that I put in the microwave, and they're not as good. They're just not as good. But 30 eggs, that's a lot of eggs to scramble. My pans won't handle 30 eggs. But, I eat scrambled eggs and then I eat fried eggs. And frying an egg in a nonstick pan is not the same as frying a pan in a cast iron pan. They are totally different fried eggs, and I love them both. And I make hard-boiled eggs, and I make soft-boiled eggs, and I make deviled eggs, and I make, I make eggs in the microwave. So I make egg bites, and I make egg souffle, and I make, all these different kinds of ways that I eat eggs. Eggs is, other than pizza, eggs is probably the most perfect food ever made. Connor, I don't like using mine much either. Usually what I'm doing is when I come back from Panera and I have a cup of coffee that's been in the car for a while, I will pour it into my mug and put it in the microwave for a minute and heat it up. And that's generally where my microwave goes, is there and maybe warming up a hot dog, for 20 seconds. but I'm just kind of stuck at the moment because it's cheaper to use the microwave than it is to eat out while I don't have a kitchen. Ron, enjoy your trip home. I hope the traffic through Atlanta is kind to you today. And wave at me as you're driving through Chattanooga. Yeah, eggs are kind of expensive at the moment, but they are coming down. I think I mentioned before that I had seen some Happy Days eggs that I was buying quite often for like $10 a dozen. And the last time that I looked, they were closer to $8 a dozen. Now that's still really expensive for a boutique kind of egg, but the price is coming down, and I think it will continue to come down. Just not today. Okay, we're almost at 8 o'clock, and so I try not to go over an hour here, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I see we've got 70 people still online. We've got about 55 likes up there. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I have a little bit more coffee in my Panera cup that I'm going to pour into this cup and go put it in the microwave. And then I'm going to go up and say hi to my mom this morning. So I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for hanging around. I will answer this question. So the first time that I went overseas after I got Mint Mobile, I could not get what they call the Minternational plan. I couldn't get it to work. And so I downloaded Airalo, or however you pronounce it, and that worked really well for me. Then I realized that I have a built-in VPN on my phone, and Mint Mobile's device would not work with the VPN because it couldn't verify what country I was in. So the last time that I went overseas, I used the Minternational plan, and it worked beautifully. It worked, and they're both about the same price. So I didn't have any problem with that. But just remember that you need to shut off your VPN on your phone or it won't work. All right. So maybe we'll talk more about that later when I go through how I'm packing for this next. Connor, I am in America. I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we have Simpson stuff everywhere here. So anyway, thank you all. We will see you all later. I'm going to reach up here into the screen now and turn this off. And then we'll see you on the replay. Remember, if you don't see the live chat right away, it will show up a little later. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you.